In this lesson, we will cover SQL database. We will have introduction to data and database, and we'll introduce you to the relational database and what is a database management system, DBMS. And we will get you started with SQL. The queries, SQL stands for structured query language. So that query language we will introduce you to, and working with database tables, types and schema for SQLs, and we will have examples of queries like select, insert, update, and delete. So basic questions normally you will hear about database is what's a database? So let's cover those basic questions. What is a database? Database is an organized collection of data stored and retrieved digitally from remote or local computer system. And what is a DBMS? It stands for Database Management System. It is a software system responsible for creation, retrieval, updating, and management of database. It ensures that the data is consistent, organized, and easily accessible. Then what is RDBMS, Relational Database Management System? R stands for relational. And how is it different from DBMS concept? RDBMS it stands for Relational Database Management System. The key difference is compared to DBMS is RDBMS stored data in the form of collection of tables. Relations can be defined between common fields of those tables. And most modern database management systems are MySQL, Microsoft SQL Server, Oracle, Amazon Redshift, IBM DB2, etc. And what is SQL? As I said, is structured query language. It stands for, it is a standard language. It is standard because almost all relational database uses this language. And it is useful in handling organized data comprised of entities, variables, and relations between different entities of the data. And what is the difference between SQL and MySQL? SQL is a query language, standard language, and MySQL is a database management system. So that's the difference. And we have a few more questions. You can consider them as intermediate level and then advanced level about SQL database. So what is a table and field? A table is an organized collection of data stored in the form of rows and columns. A table can be considered like this, and it has rows and columns. So that's a table. And fields are column. These columns are field, and rows are known as record. This is a row. This is column, and this is a row. row and column vertically. Column has a name and rows are collection of columns and is a record. And constraint, what is a constraint in the SQL? Constraints are rules concerning those data in the table, and it can be applied for single or multiple fields. Field 1, field 2, they can be combined to create constraint. The constraints can be changed using alter table command, and common constraints are primary key, unique key, not null field, or default values, check, and so on. What is a primary key? Primary key primary key is a constraint. What it says to the system is that each row has to be unique in the table. And implicitly, it cannot be null. So each row, that particular key represented by one column or more than one. If it is more than one, it can be called as unique, and primary key is considered as one row, for example, ID. We will cover that in detail later. So this is how the primary key is handled. And advanced level queries are like, what is a unique constraint? Unique constraint ensures all values of the column are different. All values in a column are different. That's a unique constraint. And it provides uniqueness for columns. It can be one column or multiple columns. Unlike primary key, there can be multiple unique constraint defined per table. There can be only one primary key, and constraints are a rule that can be defined. Multiple unique constraint can be defined for the table. And a foreign key is a key in a table that is a primary key in another table. And the foreign key constraint ensures referential integrity of the relation between two tables. Table 1 and table 2. Table 1 can have foreign key, which is a primary key of table 2.